In April 2023, a single pair of trainers sold at Sotheby's for $2.2 million. They weren't gold-plated or jewel-encrusted. They were a battered pair of Air Jordans worn by Michael Jordan during the 1998 NBA Finals. That eye-watering figure tells you everything about the cultural force we know simply as AJ. Air Jordan began life as one basketball player's signature shoe in the mid-1980s, and today it generates billions of dollars every single year for Nike. It has outlived Jordan's playing career by decades and turned ordinary footwear into objects of obsession, investment, and status. In the next few minutes we'll unpack how a reluctant rookie, a clever marketing scandal, and a handful of brilliant designers built the most influential sneaker brand on the planet, and why people still queue overnight to buy a pair. Here's a fact that surprises most people: Michael Jordan didn't even want to sign with Nike. As a college star coming into the league in 1984, he favored Adidas, the brand he wore off the court. Nike was still seen as a running shoe company with little basketball pedigree. It took pressure from his agent and his family to get Jordan into a meeting at all. Nike's pitch was bold for the time: a 5-year deal reportedly worth around $2.5 million, plus royalties and his very own signature line, rather than just an endorsement. No rookie had ever been given that kind of personal brand. Jordan reluctantly agreed, and the first Air Jordan 1 hit shops in 1985 at a retail price of just $65. Within its first year, the line generated revenue that Nike executives had never dared imagine. Every great brand needs an origin myth, and Air Jordan's is the so-called ban. In the 1984-85 season, the NBA objected to a predominantly black and red shoe Jordan wore, because league rules required footwear to be largely white and match team kit. Nike was reportedly fined around $5,000 per game. Instead of backing down, Nike paid the fines and turned the controversy into pure gold. They ran a now legendary television advert showing the shoes with black bars censoring them, declaring that the NBA couldn't stop you from wearing them. The word banned became a marketing weapon. It framed Air Jordan as rebellious, exclusive, and slightly forbidden, exactly the qualities teenagers crave. That single piece of storytelling transformed a shoe into a statement, and it remains one of the most studied advertising campaigns in sportswear history. The Air Jordan 1 was designed by Peter Moore, but the brand's creative leap came with designer Tinker Hatfield. A trained architect, Hatfield took over from the Air Jordan 3 in 1988 and introduced features that became sneaker legend: the visible air cushioning window, the textured elephant print, and crucially, the Jumpman logo. That silhouette of Jordan soaring with the ball, legs split mid-air, was based on a photograph and became one of the most recognizable logos in the world, rivaling Nike's own swoosh. Hatfield went on to shape many of the line's most celebrated models, blending performance technology with bold aesthetics. The genius was treating each annual release like a new chapter in a story rather than a simple product refresh. That design discipline is why models from the late 1980s and 1990s are still re-released today and still sell out almost instantly. In 1997, Nike spun Air Jordan off into its own division, Jordan Brand, with the Jumpman as its standalone identity. That decision turned a player's signature line into a global business in its own right. In recent years, Jordan Brand has reported annual revenue of more than $6 billion, making it one of the most valuable footwear properties on earth. Michael Jordan himself has profited enormously, reportedly earning more than $250 million from Nike in a single recent year through royalties, far more than he ever made playing basketball. The brand now sponsors elite athletes across basketball, American football, and even football, including major clubs and national teams who wear the Jumpman on their kit. What started as a gamble on one rookie has become a permanent pillar of Nike's empire. Air Jordan's influence stretches far beyond the basketball court. From the late 1980s onwards, the shoes became woven into hip-hop, fashion, and street culture. Rappers referenced specific models in lyrics, music videos showcased rare colorways, and owning the latest pair became a marker of taste and belonging. This crossover is what separated Air Jordan from ordinary sports gear. It became a language people used to express identity. The brand leaned into this with carefully limited releases and high-profile collaborations with designers and musicians, creating scarcity that drove demand even higher. Today, Jordans are as likely to be styled with denim and tailoring as with a tracksuit. Few products have crossed so seamlessly from athletic performance into mainstream culture, and fewer still have stayed relevant for nearly 4 decades without losing their edge. Perhaps the most extraordinary chapter is what happens after a pair sells out. Air Jordans sit at the heart of a vast sneaker resale market, traded on platforms like StockX and GOAT, where rare releases can be flipped for many times their retail price within hours. A shoe bought for around $180 can resell for several hundred, and the rarest grails command thousands. Game-worn examples reach a different stratosphere entirely. Jordan's 1997 Flu Game shoes sold for over $100,000, while those 1998 Finals trainers fetched $2.2 million at auction. For many young buyers, Jordans aren't just footwear, they're an asset class, bought to be held and resold rather than worn. This resale economy, now worth billions globally, has effectively turned trainers into a form of alternative investment, with Air Jordan as its blue-chip stock. So what is the real lesson of Air Jordan? It's that lasting value comes from storytelling as much as from product. Nike didn't just sell a well-made shoe, it sold rebellion, aspiration, and belonging, then protected that story for nearly 40 years through smart design and disciplined scarcity. From a reluctant $2.5 million deal in 1984 to a brand earning over $6 billion a year, AJ proves how powerfully sport, marketing, and culture can combine. The next time you see that Jumpman silhouette, remember it represents far more than basketball. It's a masterclass in building something people don't merely buy, but believe in. Whether you collect them, invest in them, or simply admire the history, Air Jordan remains the definitive example of how a single idea, executed brilliantly, can stay at the top of the game for generations.